Good morning, and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all learning together to peace out. That countdown always gets me because it stops on one, and I'm sitting here waiting for words to come out of my mouth, and it's going one. I'm like, why are you waiting? Maybe he doesn't want me to talk. I don't know. Well, I'm talking anyway. So this week, our book of the week is 31 Days in Psalm 31. And this week, we're also taking a walk through Psalm 31 that this book was based on. So you can get this on Amazon in print or Kindle, and you can get it on my website, Dovesfire Ministries Publications.com. So grab a copy. You can print it out. You can study it out. You can print out one a day if you get it. You read it on your phone. You put it on a Kindle. But just go get it. It's a good book. It's one of the first devotionals that I ever even wrote. It was because I found myself back in Psalm 31 so much. Psalm 31 is so rich with just how we just trust God, which is the essence of piecing out, right? Well, we can't peace out if we're not trusting God. If we don't trust God, we're not going to have peace, period. So true peace and being able to peace out has its roots right back in the Word and right back in trusting God for everything, right? So this week we're in Psalm 31, and I am in verse 9 today. Now he's already about 3 times said, "But I trust in God." So he's pouring out his heart to God, right? David is just pouring it all out there, and he doesn't leave anything out. He doesn't make anything sound nice. He's just gut level honest with God, and that's one of the things I love most about the Psalms. And it helped me when Chris had his wreck, and I was in this grief, and I was in sorrow, and I was in trauma, and I was in distress. It helped me to realize I could go to God and tell him everything. Matter of fact, there's a scripture that says, "What time I'm afraid, I will trust in God." It doesn't say I'm never afraid, or it's lack of faith to be afraid, or it's lack of faith to have pain, or it's lack of faith. It's not. Well, I was indirectly taught that as a child, but that's not. It's that faith is what gets us through those painful moments. That faith is what gets us through those difficult circumstances. So here we are in verse 9 of Psalm 31, and David says this. He says, "Have mercy on me, O God, for I am in trouble." Have you ever felt like you were in trouble? Now remember, David's sitting in the back of a cave. He is separated from friends and family and loved ones. He probably had at least some of his mighty men with him, some of his army with him, either there with him in the cave or somewhere nearby. But he's been separated from society. He's been promised the kingdom and the throne. God promised it. Samuel anointed his head and established that he was the next king. But here he is. He does not look like a king yet. He's sitting in the back of the cave. And sometimes we find ourselves in the back of that cave while we're waiting on the things God said were going to come to pass, right? Sometimes when God promises something, you can take it to the bank. But the process of how he's going to bring it to pass doesn't always look like our imagination. I knew God had promised me I was going to travel the world and teach the word, but I didn't know it was going to be through Skype. I thought it was going to be in a plane, right? And so I thought the vision was gone. I thought that the God must not have meant it. He didn't see something coming and he changed his mind. Obviously, that's not right. Of course he didn't, right? But he still did it. He did it his way. And it was a totally different way than the way I pictured. And so actually, I removed myself and then God did it. And this is David's removing himself. He's in the back of the cave. He's refusing to kill Saul. It's this dark. It's scary, right? There's creatures back there. He's got to be quiet, He's hiding out. It doesn't look like a king, much like Gideon. Remember, we talked about Gideon a couple of weeks ago too, and he was hiding and threshing out the wheat. He didn't look like a mighty warrior, but he was. David doesn't look like a king, but he is, even though he hasn't been set into that kingship yet. But it was promised by God, and God's not going to fail, period. But in verse 9, he says, "Have mercy on me, O Lord, I am in trouble. My eyes waste away with grief. Yes, my soul and my body. My life is spent in grief, and my years with sighing." He was in a hard spot. And we get to where we think that faith prevents those hard spots. We think that faith means everything's easy, and if we're trusting God, nothing bad ever happens. The bank account's not overdrawn, or we don't get something repoed, or all of our relationships are hunky-dory. That's not true. As a matter of fact, this relationship was all upset because Saul got jealous of David and David's victory over Goliath. And then Saul started chasing him. And because he was jealous that they were singing, Saul killed his thousands and David killed his 10,000s, he's like, oh, well, put me at the bottom of the list. And he got all jealous. And we can find ourselves in situations having not done anything wrong, right? Just by trusting God. David trusted God to take out Goliath, and now he's in trouble with Saul mostly because he was trusting God. But here David is just pouring out, going, I'm in trouble, God. I need your help. Well, there's good news, because Psalm 46 says this: God is our refuge, just like that cave was a refuge for David in the natural. He is our strength. He's a very present help in trouble. So if you are in trouble, like David was in trouble, and the writer of Psalm 46 found himself in trouble. It wasn't David, by the way. I checked this morning. He didn't write both of those. But so if you are in trouble, the good thing is God is in trouble with you, because he didn't leave you. Where would he go? You can't go through anything that he is not going to be there with you through. And so encourage yourself today. God's with me in this trouble. God's with me in this stress. God's with me in this difficult circumstance. God's with me. He doesn't say, oh, you're scared? Well, I'll come back later. I don't do scared, right? No. Go get some faith and then talk to me later. Go get yourself together and come back. No. God is a present help whenever our soul is in trouble. So no matter what area might be in trouble in your life today, God is there with you, and he's got the peace to get you through it. He's got the wisdom to get you through it. He's got the grace to get you through it. He's got the mercy. Mercies were brand new for you this morning, and that's why we can peace out. Peace out. Thank him for his mercies. Thank him for being with us in the middle of our troublesome situations. He's got us. I'll see you again in the morning.